Hello and welcome, my Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and crosswatchers. Welcome to your timeless work, career, and vocation reading. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, 25 years in service. At the time of this timeless read, I am the author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. There's a Kindle version available of it. You can click the link in the description box and see the chakra chapters in the table of contents as part of the free preview. I love that book. Very, very helpful. A lot of fun working on the next book with my Scorpio sister, soul sister, Jill Schweitzer. Hey, Jill. Very, very happy to be serving her in this read, I hope, because the original version that we put out, the original PDF, the Fellini Film Fest of a Visual Feast, is over on Patreon. Some of my patrons get the original version of Words of Grace, which is quite a bit compared to the IKEA Kindle version for surezies. But all of my subscribers get 3 benefits in common. They get a daily check-in with me pretty much every single day, an unlisted YouTube live stream link, so they literally can chat with me about the day's astrological weather, the magical applications, and spiritual implications of said astrological weather. Always ending with a prayer, a blessing, a little something to send us on our way. We do moons, new moons, full moon, Sabbaths, all of them. They're great. I love the daily check-ins. They also get all the extended readings, the part 2s to the part 1s here on YouTube. They're all relationship, soul contract based. They're all timeless. And there's an awful lot of them, as well as all of my subscribers get the benefit of a significant discount with private sessions with me. I will talk about that at the end of the reading. And I am glad to do so because I love Patreon. It is the smartest career move I have ever made in my work, career, and vocation at the time of this timeless recording. So very happy to share and do what I do there. So if you feel the intuitive hunch to do so, you can check us out for 7 days for free. Seeker and Human, our first 2 tiers, have 7-day free trials. You can dip a toe, check us out, and come play out on Patreon with the Archangel of Lions, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hi. Hey, my Scorpios. Let's get down to this work, career, vocation read. We'll do some explanation for the new Scorpios. And the crosswatchers loving that new music that Janet Grace Alvarado made for us. I love that it starts with a lion roar. That's the coolest thing ever. She's a genius. But if you are new to the channel and if you've heard this before, feel free to jump ahead in the video to get to the divination itself. But this is what's called the 3 levels of power reading. 3 levels of power I learned from Caroline Myss, MYSS. She is a PhD. These are her archetype cards. Author of Anatomy of the Spirit, which is the 8 chakra system that I'm using for this reading, as well as Sacred Contracts, dealing with archetypes, the soul powers that we incarnated to deal with reason, season, or lifetime, so we can alchemize our shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, using the language of spiritual alchemy to fulfill, in this case, our life purpose, the larger thing, hard to wrap your mind around, but we're breaking it down into work, career, and vocation, all one thing, but 3 different lenses that are connected to help you bring all that into alignment. We're doing 11 cards in this spread, 3 Caroline Myss archetype cards for the 8th chakra, hovering over your head, work, career, vocation, showing you the alchemy, the shadow light led to gold, the soul power that you are developing. We'll get 3 Daughters of the Moon Tarot for the chakras under that, heart, third eye crown, work, career, vocation. We will get the lower 3 chakras with the Mythic Tarot, relationships in the physical world, the yang dynamic, the masculine energy outside, looking at you from the inside, looking at people, places, and things. And then we will get a whisper from the whispers of Lord Ganesha, Angela Hartfield, to help remove those 3 atoms in between lead and gold on the periodic table of elements. Symbolically speaking, those 3 atoms cannot be created or destroyed, only changed, transformed, which is a Scorpio thing. I prefer the language of alchemy because I think it's just prettier, to be honest. So he'll help us remove that. The Hindu Elephant-headed god of success, prosperity, and remover of obstacles. Yes, this reading can very much be about money. And we will end with a Macon healing mantra, particularly for the cross-watchers. These are good cross-watcher reads if there's weird shit going on at work, right? In a situation, work, career, or a vocation, to get a little sympathy, a little empathy, a little understanding and insight for the Scorpio you are cross-watching for, as well as you will have the opportunity with a mantra and maybe some other things here to maybe in spiritual practice just to help them fulfill their life purpose through work, career, and vocation, because as each one of us does that a little bit, we all move forward. It's an ever-moving upward spiral. I know it doesn't look that way, but that's mysticism for you, but you're a Scorpio, so feel it out. Other than that, I think that's our explanation for this one, except to say, you know, it's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, check your other signs. Because I know for myself, my Virgo sun, I'm a Virgo, absolutely tends to resonate more towards work. That tends to be where my leverage is in the reading. My Pisces moon absolutely tends to hit in vocation. My spiritual mystical power, my Leo rising, and my Venus and Libra tend to hit the middle lane of career and creativity. Why not? So let's get down to it. The shift from explanation, which I'm glad to do for the new Scorpios and Crosswatchers, welcome, to the divination, which I was just born to do in this life. I love it. This is my mystical, one of my many mystical art forms. So both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do the best that I can to help anybody alchemize their shadow to light, their lead to gold, their pain to peace, their toxic to healthy, their fear to love, their poverty to prosperity, their lack to abundance, however you want to see that, to live a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser life, fulfilling their life purpose through their work, career, and vocation, because it just makes a better world. Don't you find? Wouldn't you like to find out? I would. So let's do it. The shift from explanation to divination happens in the still point, and fixed water signs, you can find that still point, but I get a 2-word spell. Helps me do it. Catch it if you can. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Pantheonic override. Using the Caroline Mace archetype cards, I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and crosswatchers watching this video, receiving this reading. Beloved pantheons, I need 3 Caroline Mace archetype cards representing the soul power being developed, the shadow work, the alchemy from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy for the Scorpios and their crosswatchers first in their work. 8th chakra hovering over the head, sending down the codes to all the other chakras, shifting what they attract and what they repel, so they have the choice to no longer delay what cannot be prevented in their work. How about what's hovering over their heads for their their career, and 8th chakra dominant level of power, 3rd level of power, spiritual mystical power, their vocation. They are they're a life calling sort of thing. We lay them down 1, 2, 3. We read them 3, 2, 1. And this is very cool. We've got a teacher in your vocation. You do not have to be a literal school teacher to have the archetype. So teaching by example is a big one here. We'll talk about it. The Samaritan, a divine family archetype. This is a wisdom family archetype. Seeker is a wisdom family archetype. So how nice to have those around, sandwiching, I should say. A divine family archetype of the Samaritan in your career. Interesting. And the Seeker, another wisdom family archetype written on the cards from Caroline Mace, MYSS PhD. She's got the shadow attribute and the light attribute. That's the lead, that's the gold. We're all somewhere on the percentage scale from lead to gold. So let's dive in. The lead of the teacher. Manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. Rampant. I mean, did we learn nothing from Pink Floyd's The Wall? I'm asking you, Scorpio. I bet you did. Right? Teaching negative traits and destructive skills. It's just the internet in general. The gold, ability to communicate. So we're looking at 3rd chakra. Knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom, but that need not always be verbal. Like I said, it can be teaching by example, and this would have to do with your spiritual mystical power in your career. Now, this level of power is 8th chakra dominant, right? That's the spirit, the mystical. This one is very heart, third eye, crown dominant. Your creative intuition on the inside in your career. The Samaritan in its lead, exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. You ever been in a room with one of those? Those are fun. Yes, I'd like to make an anonymous donation and I would like my name on a plaque for it, right? It's like, what? Exacting, right? Isn't that a great word, like an X-Acto knife? It kind of hurts, right? The gold refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. Now that I have had. You can have an archetypal reason, season, or a lifetime, or be dealing with somebody who has these archetypes, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. The Samaritan has come and gone in my career for sure. There have been people like, I want to help you, right? I would rather ignore, but I have overcome that because the more you move into unity consciousness, rather than the illusion of separation, you realize you're just helping yourself in another body, blah, blah, blah. Oh, the wisdom family archetype of the seeker in your work, the shadow, oh, this one we know, inability to commit to a path once found. Well, I don't know that one, but we know that pattern. So whether it's in romance or work or in anything, it's like, oh, what a wonderful path. What else you got, right? The light attribute, thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. You put a Scorpio with that kind of power, thirst, literally like element of water, unstoppable, great detectives. In fact, Scorpios make very, very good detectives and private investigators, private dicks and all that jazz. So I love this. This feels really, really good. But, you know, lead and gold, all archetypes are neutral. Where are you on that percentage scale? Wow. Let's look at the internal world, the feminine energy, heart, third eye crown, a second level of power dominant, as I said, but we get this for all three, so we can see what's going on in the chakras that the archetypes in the 8th chakra are sending down the codes to, right? The lesson, the code, if you will. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Oh, my goddesses, please override. Here we go. As I call upon my beloved goddesses of water, the sign of Scorpio and powers of the West, please, beloved goddesses of fixed water, 3 cards face down in clarity for the Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, signs, and cross-watchers who are watching this video and drawn to this reading. What do they need to be aware of? Heart, third eye crown in their work. Seeker in the 8th, thirst for knowledge and wisdom and truth wherever they go. The Samaritan in their career, refining their capacity to deal with the people that they really would rather ignore. And the teacher in their vocation. What's going on, heart, third eye crown? Because that communicating there definitely hits like throat chakra minimum, right? So what's going on for the Scorpio in their vocation with the teacher in the 8th for this timeless work, career, vocation read? Oh, let's see. 1, 2, wow. 3. Oh, I like this. So, teacher in the 8th in your vocation, 7 of blades, meditation, stillness, silence. Makes sense, doesn't it, right? So your communication right now is probably soft divine, light of touch, speak ye little, listen much, Marge. This is a very, very powerful thing. Here we have a woman ice fishing with her woo-woo puppy, right? Cut a hole in the ice and just sitting there with the spear waiting. Now, 7 of swords is what this would be in traditional tarot, and it often indicates something a little sneaky going on there, some self-preservation, but element of air for sure. We are looking at least meditation, right? In terms of stilling the mind, that's the key word written on the card, meditation. That stillness, that silence, that may then clarify the throat chakra. So in a general read, we're going to say that that kind of hits both a third eye and throat chakra. When it's a major arcana card, you got one here. It's usually all of the chakras in that level of power. So the Samaritan with the High Priestess. I mean, the High Priestess, you just can't beat that for like pure, clear channel of divine energy coming through you, and it's a divine family archetype, and the priestess really doesn't turn away people. And by the way, gender neutral, right? Now, you could be dealing with someone like that perhaps in your life. We'll see that in the lower 3 chakras, the next 3 cards that will hit this table. But to know that really what a priest or a priestess is a clear channel, a vessel through which the divine works, right? Facilitating spiritual commitments, being a channel of spiritual energy, whatever. But you sort of bringing that into alignment, again, in stillness and silence. The high priestess doesn't speak. Well, she does, but only to those who are ready to hear, right? Love it. In your work, the seeker, I love this, 10 of Pentacles, harvest. You've got the wisdom. You've completed a cycle inside of yourself. Earth element on the inside for me is about wisdom that you got from experience in the world. Knowledge is not wisdom. You can read all the books you want on, souffles until you've burned a bunch, right? You don't have the experience. You don't have the wisdom of it, right? Wisdom cannot be stolen from you. And this doesn't feel like nothing's being stolen from you there. So there could be a nice completion inside of you, but it could be like, okay, now what? Right, okay, now what? In the lead, but in that place of, okay, now what am I doing with this now? Like, what I've learned all this stuff, I've gathered all this wisdom, now what do I do with it in the physical world? First level of power. Work, all right. Yeah, work. Lower 3 chakras, mythic tarot, the yang, the masculine, outside looking in at yourself, you from the inside looking at other people, places, and things can be both. That's called mirroring. Let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Good timing with the ocean sounds there, guys. Still point. My gods, please override. As I call upon my gods of water, the sign of Scorpio, powers of the West, please, beloved gods of fixed water. 3 cards face down in clarity for the Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers who are watching this video and drawn to this reading. What do they need to be aware of? Outside and inside out, lower 3 chakra dynamic with their work, seeker in the 8th, harvest on the inner. There's the outer. Their career, Samaritan in the 8th, high priestess on the inner. There's the outer. And in their vocation, teacher in the 8th, stillness, meditation, 7 of blades on the inner. And this timeless work, career, vocation reading. Ooh, he's been showing up quite a bit. Ooh, okay, yeah, no, I see why the seeker's there. All right, let's start in vocation and work down. Teacher, stillness, Ace of Cups, a message of love perhaps, a seed of love, Aphrodite, sweet and flighty, surfing around in her see-through nightie, holding up a big-ass cup of love, or at least the seed of emotion there. I would say that in stillness, if this is you giving this cup of love, it is certainly one perhaps of unconditional love. Could also be because you might be in stillness and silence and meditation, that this is given to you or you give it to yourself. Some reflection, some self-love there. Easier to teach by example when you're embodying it within yourself first. In your career, the Samaritan, as we said, with the priestess on the inner, another court, your only court card. Yep, your only court card here. We've got the King of Wands, the Aries card, first sign of the zodiac. Ego, personality, sense of self, all of that stuff, the initiatory, right? The first sign of the zodiac, the child of the zodiac. This could be somebody in your career. I would feel that if this is you, if you have any planets in Aries, you might want to look at that. I have Saturn in Aries, so it's not Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, but it's good to know where your planets are. This is cardinal fire. This can be very initiatory. It just showed up, lower 3 chakras for the Libra read in work, the lower 3 chakras. So I don't know, maybe go check out the Libra read. Maybe this is you in there, or this is them, whatever. But initiatory, something creative, the cardinal fire, creative fire here. Now, that could certainly be you as the Scorpio reaching out and helping someone you would prefer to ignore. It's not inconceivable Princess Bride reference, but this could also be you really standing in your power and saying, no, I am this. I will do my best. I am a divine being, right? I am going to make my career what I'm going to make it to be because I am serving something higher. I'm a channel, a vessel, what have you want to call it, right? So definitely something creative here in the creative level of power, creative intuition, but lower 3 chakras here. I would say definitely pay attention to your solar plexus, because that's got to be solar plexus if we're going to give it a chakra, that element of fire in the belly. Certainly creativity and excitement, but also will tell you, the intuitive voice of the solar plexus will tell you when you're about to violate your honor code, cross a boundary. Someone's about to cross your boundary, though that can be second chakra as well, one-on-one relationships. But this feels really lovely. Don't know why, just a feeling. Here, come from my solar plexus, because I think you're going to dig this. The Seeker in your work, lovely foundation, full completion of the harvest. 10 of Pentacles on the inner with the Lovers in the lower 3 chakras here. Now, the Lovers may not always immediately denote romance. I know everybody on YouTube does it that way. It's a life-changing decision, as is deciding to be in love with somebody, right? Life-changing, sure. So this is the Judgment of Paris. It's the precursor to the Trojan War. In Greek mythology, a golden apple was hucked into the wedding of Cadmus and Harmonia with the words to the most beautiful goddess written on it. Aphrodite, Athena, and Hera grabbed for it. Zeus was not going to decide which one, so they called Paris a hero, not the city. I don't think it had been invented yet in ancient Greece. Maybe it had, I don't know. But they give it to him. Each goddess offers him something different. Hera offers him power, like power to rule the world, right? Just like Pinky in the Brain. Athena, say, you give me that apple, I will give you wisdom. Nothing you won't know, goddess of wisdom, right? Aphrodite's like, give it to me, I'll give you the most beautiful woman on earth as your wife. He gives it to Aphrodite. Helena Troy, boom. Boy did Odysseus suffer for that one. Poor Odysseus. Imagine what he would have done with GPS. It would have been a much quicker, not as good as the saga though. So look, in terms of seeking the truth, you have a decision here. Major Arcana, all 3 of those chakras together, I would say that's your way through this. You have to make get this, Aphrodite, let's see if I do this right, the most loving, wise, empowered decision. Aphrodite, Athena, Hera, bring that into alignment. So seeking truth, and there's always a higher truth. There's always a higher truth, right? There are truths that we cannot even cognize in our brains, right? We're all one, okay, right? But if we really incarnate that, it challenges everything. So this is not just a choice. This is life-changing here, but you have the chops with those 10 of Pentacles on the inner. I'm loving this read. So whatever it is you have to decide here, obviously, the vocation is going to bring you into more alignment than just hacking away at this, right? And to really go into the stillness. I mean, I see 2 stillness cards here. Meditation and the High Priestess, but meditation means many different things. I've studied a lot of different forms, Eastern, Western, the Ashaya's Ascension, the Ashaya monks. It's where I really started cultivating my relationship with Lord Ganesha. I mean, from Silva mind control, which sounds like science fiction, but it's not, right? Breath work, rebirthing, like all of this stuff that's available. And you can get apps on YouTube. You get all sorts of apps, like how many subliminal things are on YouTube for free. So this is a very, very interesting thing. Our 3 levels of power on the table, as are the chakras. So let's talk to Lord Ganesha, Hindu elephant-headed god of success, prosperity, and remover of obstacles, keeping in mind the obstacles we're going to ask him to remove for you are those 3 atoms in between lead and gold that can't be created or destroyed, only changed and transformed. And as one of us do it, all of us benefit. Please take a nice deep breath. And yeah, God of success and prosperity. This is about money too, Scorps. Still point. Oh, so good. Oh, beloved Lord Ganesha, please override. Oh, like a breath of fresh air. As I call upon the beloved Lord Ganesha, God of success, prosperity, and remover of obstacles, please, beloved one, One card in clarity for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers who are watching this video and drawn to this reading. What is your guidance, your grace, your love, your wisdom, your power, your oracle message to help the Scorpios and the cross watchers alchemize their shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, fear to love in their work, career, vocation? Steadfastness. Steadfastness. Fixed. Fixed. Energy. 32. Steadfastness. Now he's an elephant riding an elephant. I think you have to have a certain relationship to get away with that. I love elephants though. I do. I'm a lion. That doesn't mean I can't recognize strength and power and some junk in the trunk when I see it. Steadfastness. Do not waver back and forth or be moved by the circumstances that are surrounding you at this time. Now, I'm not seeing anything particularly chaotic here, but certainly a life-changing decision in the physical world could feel that way. Be focused on your purpose and unwilling to be swayed by what other people think or by what you perceive. Perception is not always truth. The sun does not rise in the east and set in the west if the planet turns on an axis. Ours does. Spoiler alert. Ganesha heartens you by revealing that what you know. Is this right? No. Ganesha heartens you by revealing that when you know your effort is not futile, you will be steadfast and immovable. In other words, we'd all like a guarantee, and nobody gets them. This seems to be a major stumbling block in your life at this time. Perhaps your current job gives little recognition, with no real sense of accomplishment or success. You may feel unheard in your relationships. Possibly the error lies in the fact that in your heart, you really feel your struggle is hopeless. You know, we all get there. There is always hope. Hope springs eternal, right? We all have the grace of hope, but we are often used, and this is in my book, Words of Grace, very early on, that I learned the word hope in the shadow, which is, God, I hope that doesn't happen. That's worry, right? So hope is tricky psychologically that way. It is a grace, though. This seems to be a major stumbling block, blah, blah, blah. You may feel unheard in your relationships. Possibly the error lies in the fact that in your heart you really feel your struggle is hopeless. You may recognize it on an intellectual level, but you are easily shaken when you do not see the fruit of your exertion. And I'm right there with you. Ganesha is pictured here riding the elephant to engage you in the energy of elephant spirit. Elephants can teach you that kindness, dedication, and communication in relationships is very powerful. Okay, we got the teacher there with communication. We've got the Samaritan there with a certain level of kindness, right, to help those, serve those you'd rather ignore. Where did I leave off? Ganesha, they remind you that it is necessary to keep relationships alive, trusting and loving, whether the relationship is with friends, family, or partner, deeply faithful to all creatures with which they have relationships. Elephants are tough when protecting others and gentle when nurturing them. That's very Scorpio. The matriarch, the oldest, most experienced female leader of a herd, leads in a way that is both gentle and inclusive. Elephants are able to communicate telepathically. I did not know that. Doesn't shock me though, all that brain in there. When you draw this card, your ability to truly listen to others is enhanced. And I think, again, if you are a teacher in any way, shape, or form, listen. Like, don't think about what you're going to say while the person is talking. Just listen and then allow what rises in you, because that's where that Ace of Cups of kindness could very easily come in. Makes all the difference. Do whatever is necessary to safeguard your resolve. You are receiving guidance that this is the time to dig in. Oh, don't tell that to a Scorpio. Remain focused and don't get caught up in trying to create a change. That's new. The energy in your job or relationship is ever-changing. Ask Ganesh to bring you the strength to work through what is happening. Stay committed and on track. Do not give up, as change will show up soon and the situation will be transformed. I mean, this could be about anything. But in a work, career, vocation rate, sometimes it's our interpersonal relationships that may seem outside of work absolutely influence us inside of work, career, and vocation. So that's why you tweak one of these a little bit, all the chakras shift. It's really all one thing, right? Just going in at different angles, different perspectives. So, the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. Crosswatchers, heads up. Here's the one to help you heal, which will help them heal, which will help all of us heal. The Ascended Masters of the General Assembly. Let's see what they say. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Ascended Masters, please override. As I call upon the Ascended Masters of the General Assembly, please, beloved ones, one card in clarity for the Scorpio Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers who are watching this video and who are drawn to this reading. What is the perfect healing mantra to help them alchemize the shadow to light, the lead to gold, the pain to peace, their toxic to healthy, their fear to love, their restraint to freedom, their perdition to paradise, their hell to heaven? In this timeless, ooh, that one jumped, work, career, vocation reading, invoking self-realization. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. I'm just going to say, breathwork is just ancient, right? It was probably the first form of meditation. Focus on your breath, like before we had language. Very possible. Stumbled upon that in some cave somewhere. Invoking self-realization. Now, self-realization is definitely part of the Hindu process of spiritual awakening. There's God realization. There's a lot going on there. So if you're doing the yoga thing, you might want to look into self-realization, particularly with this meditation card you got here. In your vocation, I'm going to say that the teacher here, your vocation, is probably the key that's going to bring the rest of this into alignment. Though, High Priestess, there is a silent choice there that you can make to help you make that decision. So, read it from the bookie book real quick. I love anything breathwork. It really has made all the difference in my life. I combine Ho'oponopono, Hawaiian method of making things right with Wim Hof. So I call it the Wim Ho, and it works for me. You Wim Ho. Please take a nice deep breath. Invoking self-realization. Each breath confirms how awake I already am. Self-realization is a spontaneous remembrance of your interconnection to all that is. How's that for seeking out truth? The sacred truth of the root chakra, according to Mason, Anatomy of the Spirit, is this. All is one. That's in the root chakra. Why are we struggling so much with that? You are willing to embrace your individuality as a unique expression of source and physical form by aligning with the breath. You see that while you appear to be a person, it is the universe that breathes everything into existence. How do we know that? Because we can't always be focused on our breath. How are we going to do everything else? It actually breathes through us. That is the prana, the chi, the life force, the reiki, the shmeki, the eggs, the bakey, right? All that keeps us alive. Breath is life. Prana means spirit and breath in Sanskrit, if I'm getting that right. This mantra is ideal for reducing stress, managing pain, and relaxing the nervous system, which you would think steadfastness is this. Not with what we have here on the table. This is about stillness. It's not about being stubborn. It's about being still. It's about really listening to what's coming at you horizontally. And this Ace of Cups could be a lovely inspiration of the heart here, right? To help you make this decision, just breathe. Just breathe. It's like, I am awake. If I'm focused on my breath, I am aware, I am awake here and now in the present moment. So, very, very hopeful. And, you know, you got to breathe to do a mantra, one would think. So, we're going to put this together in a blessimation, a term that we came up with over on Patreon. And at the end of that, the reading's over, but then I have to release all you Scorpios and your crosswatchers from my energy field, and I do that by allowing the goofy that remains, not that I hold back that much, to clear my field, but we're also going to talk about like readings and Patreon and stuff like that. Please take a nice deep breath last time. I promise. I know all this breathing. Still point. Pantheonic override. And we end as we began, as I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine, for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers who are watching this video and drawn to this reading. May they be blessed with all that they need to fulfill their life purpose, that in their vocation they discover their ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, and wisdom, even when in meditation and in silence, to get that clear, maybe again to teach by example, as this Ace of Cups is given or received, and who knows, maybe even both. And so that in their career, they can refine their capacity to help those they would prefer to ignore, with the High Priestess bringing that into a silent, still alignment within them, a depth. The Virgin, the Maiden of the Maiden Mother and Crone in the Tarot there, knows all the secrets, doesn't say much about it, but with this Aries energy, the King of Wands, if that's someone that they are dealing with, perhaps they want to keep quiet and would prefer to ignore them, or perhaps this is them really standing their ground, really being true in themselves and just allowing that spiritual energy to come through them for all sorts of things they would prefer to ignore. And so that in their work they can embrace their thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are, because they've got so much wisdom inside of them that cannot be stolen. A harvest, that work is done, and yet it's all backing them up from within to make a life-changing decision to bring together Athena, Aphrodite, and Hera, wisdom, love, and power, to make the wisest, most loving, empowered decision that they can, and be steadfast about it, that there will be return on their investment. There will be fruit from the seeds that have been sown. And all they have to do is invoke self-realization. So help them find that through the breath, through the meditation, through the interaction, through the steadfastness, because each breath confirms how awake they already are. And may they be blessed with all that they need to be the happiest, healthiest, wealthiest, wisest version of themselves, for their well-being, for their work, career, vocation, fulfilling their life purpose for the well-being of all, including their loved ones, shifting us all to a more golden timeline for the well-being of all. And with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. So would it be. And so it is. I love that Janet Grace put that lion roar in there. I wanted to put it there on all of them, but we're not going to do that, because that's too much, right? No, it's not. Did you like the video? Do you like the new music? Oh my God, so much fun, Janet. Thank you. Hit the thumbs up, just helps other Scorpios and cross-watchers find the reading. I'm not monetized here anymore, so algorithm, schmalgorithm, who cares? So I'm over on Patreon, where we have no algorithms. You sign up for one of my levels of subscription, you get everything on that level of subscription. Since I created that level, we've been adding a few as we've been going along this Patreon journey. All of my subscribers, regardless of subscription level, get the daily check-ins, the extended readings, and the extensive discount on private sessions with me. We do have the 7-day free trials currently available at the time of this timeless recording for the first two levels, Seeker and Human. Check them out. You get the daily check-ins, you get the extended reads, but we save the extensive discount for actual subscribers, so just stay for a month and you get the exact same discount as God Goddess Top Tier. That's how it works. And if you would like to book me for a private session anyway, readings and or spiritual counseling, there's a video in the description box. It's also on my website, but there is a video that I made called Booking Private Sessions with Mal. About 11 minutes, covers everything from if I gotta travel, if we're doing it on Zoom, if we're recording it. But what I say over and over and over again, and let's talk about a Samaritan here, I have never and will never turn anybody away because lack of financial remuneration for a reading. Where there's a witch, there's a way, and we can work it out. We can work it out because life is very short, and here's no time for fussing and fighting, my friends. Beetlejuice. Click the link, check it out, but it's also on my website if you want to see it in print. Drawingthecircle.com. You'll see at the top it says store. Click on the store. It brings you to all the stuff I got in my store, but also you'll see readings and spiritual counselings. You can see it in print, and then reach out to me as you like, because clients always come first. So seriously, what a powerful read here. I love that steadfastness with the High Priestess, right? And the teacher really standing your ground, and hang in there. Sometimes it just takes a while for us to see the harvest, but the harvest is within you. So maybe it's just one life decision away from taking it from within you to outside of you. I don't want to say without you. That doesn't seem right. And that's not what I meant anyway. So hang in there, my beloved fixed water signs, my Scorpios, that stinger looming over your head all the time, ready to strike. You can do this. I believe in you, and I love Scorpios. Filthy senses of humor, most of you, and that's why we get along. So wishing you all the very, very best and the very, very blessed in your work, career, vocation, my friends. Hang in there, heal, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.